So if you want to save your relationship or if you want to get this girl back, remember these tips that I give you. The first thing, there's this idea of swinging attraction. This is the unconditional shift. This is something that most people don't understand. When you start a relationship with someone, you gotta understand that both you and her are dynamic entities. This means you change and she will change and the level of attraction will change. I notice guys wonder what happened. We were together for 3-4 years. We had a really great, amazing relationship, and suddenly she can cut and go with somebody else. That is normal. This thing can happen. Yeah, like I see guys get surprised and they get stuck. They cannot understand what happened. They keep thinking in the past, confused that we did all of those great things together. What happened? And now suddenly she can just leave. She's dynamic. Nobody told you about this, but attraction is dynamic. One day she was madly in love with you, today changes. That is normal. That's the first thing. So I don't want you to be confused anymore, wondering what happened. The second thing I want to tell you why relationships fail. This happened to me many, many times. I didn't realize. I thought I'm giving so much. I'm giving time. I'm giving energy. I'm spending time with her, doing everything that she wants, but she feels unheard. She feels like I don't hold space for her, and I didn't know what it was. One day I came home and I said, listen, next 3 weeks, we're gonna do all of these great things together. We spent 3 weeks first class, best restaurants. We went away, we went to nice hotels, we traveled, we did an amazing 3 weeks, really honeymoon style. Then the last 2 hours, when we came back home, I was really tired. I had to do a big trip. I was very stressed about this. I had to travel like 16,000 miles, go to different countries for business. And that last 2 hours that we were together, because I was stressed and I was tired, I wasn't really giving her attention. So imagine 3 weeks, full on, hardcore, great relationship. Last 2 hours, I wasn't there. So when I left, a week later, she left me a voice message and said, hey, I want to tell you something. Remember, before you leave, I didn't really feel like a woman. I felt like you weren't looking at me like a man that loves a woman, and I felt a little ignored. So what did I do? Like every other guy, I thought to myself, what the fuck? I gave all of these things. Now suddenly, just 2 hours in 3 weeks, she picked on that. How ungrateful. And I felt like nothing I do is appreciated. And what did I do? I just attacked. Said, what are you talking about? I give you all of these great things. Anyways, that's led to a breakup. Later, that we got back together, I did a lot of research on what was going on. We talked a lot about it as well. I talked to my therapist, and I realized this is the thing. Not every woman is like this, but when she says something like this, what she's really saying, she's saying, I want more of you. What I heard was, why don't you give me attention? Why don't you give me the rest of everything that you've left? If you want to be in a good relationship, you need to understand what she means when she says things like that. And most of us guys, we don't have any training. We don't really understand what she says when she talks about these things. She's not saying you're not enough. She's not saying what you give me is not good enough or enough. She's saying I want more of that. What is the right answer to that? What is the right approach to those situations, to those conflicts that come up pretty much all the time in the relationship? The best thing you can do is to just remember, it's not about you. It's about what she's feeling. Just acknowledge what she's feeling. Even if the feeling is not right, you want to go through this, you got to acknowledge. And I don't want you to take it on you and feel like, oh man, I have to take it in and it's hard and fuck. Okay, I'll be quiet. She can say that, but I'm going to let this go. Not like that. Dude, it's not even about you. It's about her problems with herself. You just take it. That's cool. No problem. I hear you. I understand. I'm here for you. If you don't look at it the right way, you're going to feel resentment. And here's how you take it the right way. It's not about you. It's about her and what she feels. And all you need to do as a dude is to recognize and acknowledge, hey, I understand. I understand that you feel that way. I'm here for you. And it's not faking. You really, I really understand. She wants more. She wants to be closer. Now, there are some women who take advantage of that, some women who don't. So that's another story. That's another thing. But you need to know if this is a good woman, if you feel that you can do better, this is the thing. You need to recognize her emotions, acknowledge them, even if they're not right. She feels it. She feels what she feels. And if you want to really go through this, just remember, this is not about you. It's about how she feels. And it's okay, man. It's cool. Just say, okay, you understand. I feel you. And I feel and I understand what you feel. Recognize the emotions. You don't feel anything bad because he's not picking on you. That's her way of saying, I want to be closer to you, and let it go. This is really, really, really important. Another super important thing is that guys make mistake, and I'm guilty of this as well. We enter the relationships with the attitude of pickup and dating. If you're a guy like me who struggled in his 20s, maybe you could not get the girls that you wanted, so you entered the world of pickup and dating and all of that red pill stuff. I'm not saying it's good or bad. There's a lot of good about it, and there's some things that are not good about it. But if you enter a relationship like that, and you want to navigate through a relationship with the attitude and mindset of dating, it's going to fall apart. You will not be able to navigate through it, because relationships require a different level of understanding, different ways of communication, and different way of connections. While in pickup and dating, you have to make some maneuvers. You cannot be available all the time. You have to play a little bit of game to, create attraction, because she doesn't know you, you don't know her. In relationship, everything changes. So what works in pickup and dating does not work in relationship. That's why I highly encourage you, if you're one of those guys like how I used to be, come into a relationship with the knowledge of dating, and you feel cocky as well because you have a lot of experience and you think, okay, I got this covered. Then you come in relationships keep fading. I very much recommend you to start studying about relationships and how you can communicate in relationships, because it's a completely different story. The next thing that makes relationships fail is low awareness. The guy is not aware of how he feels and is not aware of how she feels. And the woman's the same, not aware of how she feels and not aware of how he feels. If you want a relationship to collapse, date somebody who's not aware, or start a relationship with somebody who doesn't have awareness of their emotion. They bring a lot of emotions to the table. Most people are not aware, so you have to be very aware of how you feel. So it takes some time to evolve. I remember a few years ago, I thought with myself that, I slept with 300 women. I'm really evolved and I know exactly how this thing works. In dating, maybe. In attraction, towards the first stages of dating, maybe. But relationship, no. The awareness for relationship is really important. You may get triggered a lot in the relationship. So you have to navigate, you have to be very centered and grounded so you don't attack, you don't get triggered. At the same time, you have boundaries. So she doesn't step over the boundaries and she still respects you. There is a way to communicate for that, because if you go out of your way, remember what I told you before in the previous example, you have to acknowledge your emotions. There is a way to do that. You don't just say, okay, baby, just tell me whatever you feel. I'm here like a punching bag. I'm here like a doormat. You can say whatever you want to do. It's not like that. You give her time. There's a framework for that. You allow her to talk. You say, you acknowledge, you hear, you hold her, you hug her, and then finish and you move to the next thing. You do not want to question her emotion. You do not want to question why she feels that way. Next thing is, most guys lack personal requirements or essentials for maintaining a relationship. What are these things? I've made a list of these. I can show you this list as well. Mental stability. A lot of guys are not mentally stable. If you smoke, if you drink, if you don't sleep well at night, if you sleep late, if you wake up late, if you waste it, if you don't take care of your body, if you're not happy with yourself, if your confidence is low, if you're emotionally not mature, like I said, if you're not aware, if you're not self-aware, if you're not independent, if you don't have empathy and compassion, if you don't have honesty, if you don't have integrity, if you're not open to grow and learn new things, if you're financially broke, if you're not resilient emotionally, all of these items come to the surface in the relationship. And that's why I have in the program I work with guys on all of these personal domains as well, because each of them is a course, each of them requires frameworks for you to be able to take care of yourself and take yourself to a level so you can navigate through the relationship. And the next thing that I want to talk to you about is about obviously the attachment theory. My notes are here, I'm reading from my notes. Attachment theories, you gotta be so good with understanding attachment styles. If you're anxious, if you're avoidant, if you're secure, if you're mixed. For example, if you're anxious, you become needy and insecure. And if you're avoidant, you struggle to stay and you just want to pull back, and because you worry you get hurt later. And if you're mixed, for example, me personally, at the beginning of the relationship, I'm anxious. I'm trying to work on transitioning from anxious to secure. And when the relationship makes progress and I feel safe, then I become avoidant. So I'm going to pull back because I'm losing my independence. So you got to very well understand, listen to the book Attached. There's a lot on that. The next thing is what are the core pillars of relationship. Really, really important. Also, these are the ingredients. You and that person that you want to be in a relationship with, if you're fighting, is because number one, you must have mutual interest. Remember what I told you at the beginning of this video, interest changes, attraction changes. If she doesn't want to be with you, there's no mutual interest. There's a lot of work to be done to decide if this is the right relationship or not. Second thing, effective communication. Non-reactive empathy that I mentioned. Acknowledge her emotion. Do you recognize if she's complaining about you, or if she's complaining about the things that she's feeling? Do you recognize these emotions? Then there's mutual attractiveness. Then there is mutual respect, trustworthiness, mutual support, compromising without resentments, which I'll talk about in the next video. And yeah, I'm just gonna finish this video here. I'm gonna record another video, which will be the second part of this, and I'm gonna continue. So you have everything that you need to be able to navigate through this relationship and tough times, and hopefully fix your relationship. If you want me to help you personally, look at the link in the description. You can join my program, and I will walk you through implementation of all of these items. This is Ben. See you in the next video.